Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video. Today is day 24 for Scraptember, and we have to use something that we hoard. So I right away knew what paper I was going to use because I've been hoarding this paper all month long. This is my favorite paper from the collection, and I've just been saving it. Part of me is like, I don't want to cut it up. I really want it to be the background so it can really show off. But it's also kind of difficult as a background because it's really busy. It's multicolor. It has a lot going on. But I decided to just go for it. We're supposed to be using something we hoarded in this paper I've been hoarding. So we're going to get used up. But there's a couple embellishments I also use on this page. That is stuff I've been hoarding. So I'm right away going in with some of the scraps I have. I really didn't want to cut into another 12 by 12. I'm really trying to use my scraps as I go this month. And save the 12 by 12 for more layouts. But I have these two recipe cards from the cut apart sheet I hadn't used yet this month, so I wanted to get them both on here since they're in the color scheme. And then I'm using a scrap of this brown that I gutted from a previous layout to help break up all of these layers and kind of give your eye some place to rest because there's a lot going on this page. Like, I don't do a lot of layering, but just with the background and what I do add, it's a lot. So I don't know if this page will be too busy by the end, but I think it's kind of fun. It's documenting one of my coworkers' wedding. Alexis is like the sweetest person you will ever meet. I love her so much. And I've worked with her since I've been at South Cherokee, so 9 years now. And she just got married. And so I have a little group picture of everyone from my work that came to her wedding. I did put some little sticky notes over the faces of the people I don't think will want to be on YouTube. I do have permission from Dr. Beck, my boss, and Alexis. So I left them uncovered. But for the rest of the coworkers, I know they'll appreciate not being on the YouTube, so that's why there's some paper over their faces. In the close-ups, I do remove the paper, but I'll blur out the faces of the people I don't have permission for, so it won't be as distracting in the close-ups. But I'm just trying to figure out my layers here. I kind of handicapped myself by wanting to stick to this like pink and brown color scheme and not cut into more 12 by 12. So I kind of tried to use what I had, but I was pretty proud of myself. I used a lot of the cut aparts on this page. I have not been using the cut aparts much this month. I, in my mind, felt like I had more embellishment from the cut aparts than I actually did. I ended up only having one sheet of cut aparts and one sheet of border strips. In my mind, I felt like I had 3 or 4 sheets of cut aparts, but I'm just going to use what's in my color scheme. I'm going to use this branding strip as another layer. I pulled a piece of that brown towards the bottom so it looks like a longer scrap than it really is, just so I have that brown on the top and the bottom too. But I'm just trying to branch out. I really wanted to create a visual triangle with this very like peachy pink. So I have that beauty all around over the group picture. I have the banner on the right, and then I have this little spread your wings and fly moth at the top. So that's my visual triangle I'm going to try to build from. And because there is gold metallic on the background, I do want to put gold in all the clusters as well. That little beauty all around is gold foil as well, which I think is nice. But here's a scrap from one of the cut apart border pieces that is like a pink lacy thing. And I felt like it's a wedding, lace goes, pink's in the color scheme. So I'm fussy cutting this border to run along the bottom of the photos. And I'll have a little scrap of that I'll add to the top cluster when I kind of get around to it. But I'm trying to leave, even though there's a lot going on, blank areas. So the recipe cards, the pink one I'm going to leave as is. I will stick my title on that. But I'm only going to do a little bit of journaling on the white recipe card. I'm trying to leave, for the most part, it open because I just feel like there's a lot for your eye to look at on this one. So there's the scrap of the little lacy border strip I added to the top. I'm not sure if it'll layer over that butterfly piece or under it at this point. But I also wanted, because it's wedding, there's gold. I want some more gold. I'm going to go ahead and get, is this my last gold feather? This is my last gold feather. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I used them all this month. I'm adding this gold feather to this little banner cluster here. I thought that would be a nice focal point and a base for this cluster. So I'm going to get that stuck down. And then I know my title would be gold glitter, but I'm not sure about anything else yet. So I'll have to think about that in a bit. But one of the other things I've been hoarding are these, I'm pretty sure they're Prima Marketing flowers, like paper flowers. One of you guys sent this to me, and it was when all my Happy Mail slid together, and I had it organized by who sent it to me so I could thank you as I used the stuff. But it was one of the things that slid into each other. So I don't know who gave this to me, but thank you. I've been hoarding them for the proper layout to use them on. And I felt like I just never had the right collection to do them justice. But this prompt is to use the hoarded stuff. It's a wedding. They're flowers. I feel like if I'm not going to use them on this page this month, then they're not going to get used, and I'm going to hoard them for another year. So I get these 3 paper flowers on this layout. I'm determined. They'll move around a bit, but I definitely know I want one of them at least on the banner with the gold feather. And then I try to create a visual triangle with the other 2. So that's the goal. I'm just going to back this really quick since I gutted the background. No way was I not gutting this pattern paper. I just love it too much to not gut it. So hopefully I'll get that on another page this month so I can appreciate it more as a scrap and not as a busy background. But I can't help myself. I had to use it as the background on this one. I love it so much. So there's the one floral feather or flower. I'm going to go ahead and stick it down with the feathers. That cluster over there is pretty much done. I know I'm going to have this cluster in the upper left-hand corner, but I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do. I did decide I need to pull some of that brown up to that corner to balance that color a little bit. Right now the brown is just that big layer on the right side of the photos. So I pulled a little scrap up there. I'm adding a scrap of the branding strip I used at the bottom and a scrap of that fussy cut, like scallopy lacy branding strip to be my clusters up there. And now I'm trying to play around with where these feathers are going to go. I'm thinking if I do a flower up there by the recipe card and then one on the opposite side of the left-hand photo, that will create my visual triangle. But I wanted something for the feather to sit on other than just the recipe card. So I did add a scrap of a glassine bag up there. I feel like glassine bags, there's something about the white and the translucency that makes me feel wedding. I'm really surprised I didn't put a doily on here. I had one set to the side thinking I would use it because it's a wedding. But I ended up not going for it. But I do get this glassine bag up here for that one flower to sit on. And then I'm going to add one at the top of the group photo because I want it to kind of frame in my title. And I think these 3 flowers create a visual triangle that frame these photos, which I really like. I think what draws my eye though is like I have my visual triangle with my peach, and then I have a separate visual triangle with the flowers, and then I'm adding more gold as we go. So I think that's why my eye keeps bouncing around, but I don't know. I kind of like it. It's like the more you look at this page, the more stuff you see. I'm not really a busy layout person, but for some reason in this one, I'm fine with it. I'm just going to go ahead and stick together all the layers and get the cluster in the upper left-hand corner situated. And then I will need to balance the gold here in a minute because I feel like the gold's really unbalanced. It's really just this gold feather, and I need it spread around the layout. So but I'm gonna get this one piece down, and I really feel like that helps balance out like the brown and the peach. I like that I got the scraps of the border strips used. And then here are my gold Fitzgerald thickers. So I'm going to just say hashtag Wood because that's her new last name is Wood. I was just going to spell out Wood, but these are really skinny letters and they didn't take up as much room as I thought they would. So I added the hashtag purely to get some more gold and fill up that space. And then I added an ampersand to the top. So right now I kind of have like a diagonal going on with the gold feathers, but I still wanted a little bit more because it still doesn't seem balanced. So I actually go to my Halloween thicker sheet that has gold glitter, and I pull in 3 stars to kind of place in the diagonal corners just so the gold looks like it goes corner to corner. And it isn't kind of this random assortment of just the title and the feather. So that is my embellishment. I am adding journaling that just says the South Cherokee crew showed up to celebrate Alexis's wedding, wishing her a happily ever after, and then I dated it. This was August of last year. So they're about to have their anniversary and they have a baby on the way. So super excited for them. But here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check the playlist for Scraptember 2023 to see all the layouts everyone is doing this month. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.